welcome. My name is Nicole Gladkey. I'm from Do It Training, and today I will be presenting options on how to edit Microsoft Office files with Google Drive. Does everybody remember this little paperclip guy right here and how easy it was just to pop open Microsoft, make your edits, save your files on your computer, and that was that? Right? You carried your flash drive or you carried your computer around, you did your presentation, so on and so forth. Hi, Mary. How are you? Welcome. So, my question to you guys is, who is still using Office files? And don't be afraid to say that you are. I mean, that's probably why you're here. There's a lot of Office files that are for departments that are legacy files that still need to be updated, and those are the files you still have to work from. Some faculty may be using their PowerPoint presentations that they've been using, and it's still good material that they update periodically. So my question is, who is using Office files? Why do you need to use them? And where are they located? So if you can type that into the chat and then we'll get started and I can work off your questions and comments. Hi, Jenny. Welcome. We're just getting started. So Matthew writes, I am nearly exclusively data analysis calculations, also presentations and posters, mostly on my hard drive. Right. So Matt, I can call you Matt, right? Or is it Matthew? You're you run the risk of losing data should something happen to your computer, correct? Right. So your goal is to store things into the cloud so that way you can access it from any computer anytime you want as long as you have internet access. Right, Susanna. So you have legacy files. I use Microsoft for the editing option that Google does not have. Correct. So what sort of editing do you do, Susanna? Is it something more than Google Drive can offer you, or does it not have those functions? Matt keeps 3 backups. Good. Paul says he used Office for WP presentations and spreadsheets, files on hard drive and Google Drive. Okay, so you back things up on Google Drive. I see. And Donna uses both Word and Excel. She does save them to Google, but has to download them, edit them, and then resave them to Google. And Donna, I'm sure you realize that when you did download it and then you resaved it to Google, if you save it as the same name to Google Drive, it makes a duplicate and not overwrite the file like we're used to in just working with files on our computer. So Susan is guilty as charged. Most of our files are on shared folders, and that's just the way that's just the way it's been, and that's completely understandable. You're in the process of migrating to Drive, and it's very scary. Susan, do you know how big your shared folder is? How many files, like not how many files, but how many gigabytes of files do you have on that shared folder? So Susanna sorts large Excel files. Excel is faster. Okay, great. Okay. And Susanna says our office keeps some files on Microsoft when staff. Okay, great. Understand. When staff leave, you lose Google files on Google. No, you do not. If staff leave that own the files, their account gets, if they leave the university, their account is deactivated but not deleted. So if you always had edit access to a file that somebody else owns that left, you will still have edit access. You can, if you want to, make a copy of that file and then you own it and delete the other file and then share it out to your team accordingly if you want to. But when people leave, their accounts are not deleted. Okay, so Susan, you're not sure, that's fine. you do have unlimited storage in Google Drive, so we can work with that. And that's what the solution I'm going to present to you is. Minhyu Lu, hi. Great. I have some files in a shared folder and some in Google. So we have files in two different places. Okay. And Matt says, I have an interesting case. I've been using Gmail account as a primary access point for about 8 different email accounts for almost 8 years now. I have it set that my personal Gmail accesses my SB Gmail account. My drive is not unlimited. Right. So personal Gmail accounts only get about 15 gigabytes of storage space. Okay. All right. So that's a lot of really good information. So I'm hoping that some of the things I'm going to show you today are good solutions for what you're looking to do. And just as I thought, you know, we are heavily embedded in using Microsoft Office files, and we need the solution of Google's unlimited storage space. So let me move on. So the benefits of the solution that I'm going to provide you is you can work right out of the Microsoft Office application, whether that be Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And you're working on these documents. They are just Word, Excel, and PowerPoints. They're not Google Forms of the documents. You get to use the unlimited storage space in Google, and it's a plugin. So that means anybody can download it, even if you're not the administrator of your machine, if your machine is managed by client support. So everyone should be able to do this. Some of you may be using the Google Drive Sync application, and that looks like the folder on your desktop, and when you click on it, you can throw files in there, your Office files, PDFs, pictures. You can just drag them right into there, or save them to the Google Drive folder. And that's fine. Definitely take advantage of that. The only problem is that if you have a lot of files, so if you have a shared network drive that you want to move over um, to Google, or if you have more files than you actually have space on your computer, that's when you're going to run into a problem. So you can't really use Google Drive Sync unless you have unless you limit how many things you sync to the folder. Otherwise, it's going to eat up your hard drive space. It syncs, so that means it keeps a copy on your computer and syncs it to Google Drive. So it's sort of in both places, and you can access it in both places. Does that make sense? But this is a good solution if you don't have that many files. And, oh, let me go back. If you don't have Google Drive Sync on your computer, you need administrator access to download it and install it on your managed machine. Also, with Google Drive Sync, you get to choose which folders you want to sync up between your computer and Google Drive. The problem that I find with some users is that if they have a lot of folders within folders, and they have a lot of files that takes up a lot of room. So you can only sync top level folders. You can't sync the subfolders or the little folders underneath it. So sometimes Google Drive Sync is not the solution. Now, another option is you may have found that you can right click on a file, and then you can choose Open With and Google Docs. Has anyone found this option? Has anyone played with this option? This is a good option, but what you're actually doing is making a copy of the file. That's a it's a Googleized version copy of the file. So it's not a Microsoft Office file. And if you keep doing this, so for this I'll show you what I mean. So let me just go to Google Drive here. And I'll make my screen bigger. So let's say I right click on this and I want to open with Google Docs. It converts it to a Google Doc, and then of course I can edit it. So I'll just let me make this bigger again. And then I can make my edits. Okay, it automatically saves and then I can close. So now I have this Word version and then I also have this Google version. The problem is if I were to right click on this Word version again to open with Google Docs, this is the problem here. It converts it again and it actually just makes a copy. So that can be confusing and might seem like you're losing work. So see here, you can't see my edit anymore. And if I close this file, I now have, every time I do that, it makes a copy of the file. So that's not always a good option, right? It makes a duplicate. So be careful with that one. Now there's another option. You can download the Chrome extension to edit Office files, and you edit them in the Chrome browser. So it looks like this. So here's my Word file, and you can edit, you can do whatever's under File, Edit, Format, and you have just limited options to edit. You can't really, if you're using Excel, you can't really do too many fancy things. Right now, this is the only option to edit Office files with a Mac, because the plugin I'm going to present only works on a Mac. And the link is right here. You guys all have these slides. If you click on this link, it will bring you to where the Chrome store is, and then you just click Add to Chrome. Mine's already added. And then you can, so let me just add to Chrome, or just enable it. Okay, so mine's already added. And then if I refresh, I can now right click, open with Google Docs, and it actually will not make a copy. I'll be able to keep editing this document. Okay, it's saved. And then I can, oh, there it is. This is the document that I edited, open with Google Docs, and it saves my edits. So that's really the only option, and we can just disregard these. Okay, so here I am using the extension just to open up this file, and I'll just do that one more time so everybody gets it. Okay, edit 2. Let me make that bigger, and then close. And then if I open it up again, right click, open with Google Docs, and I should see my edit 2. Okay, and that's with the Chrome extension, and again, this is what Mac users can do, but you only have a few options here. So you can do some printing, edit, not much editing, very basic formatting, and whatever buttons you have up here. Okay, so let me get back to my slideshow. So this is what I really wanted to show you, this Office plugin. This is the link to the Office plugin. Okay, and you can also click on this link in the slides to check out the guide in downloading this plugin. It really kind of walks you through and it prompts you when it needs a sign in and so on and so forth. You just follow along with what the screen does. And this is what it looks like. So here I have a Microsoft Word document open, and after you download the plugin, you'll get this extra menu option. And when you click on that, these are the tools you get. So if I go back, I can use all of the options that Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint offer. And then when I'm done, oops, I can use the tools here to save to drive, to open, to share, so on and so forth. So let's take a look at those tools. Any questions so far about what I've presented to you so far? So what I've presented to you is the what happens when you have installed Google Drive Sync, when you right click on a Microsoft Office file and it makes a duplicate, and then if you also use the extension, which won't make the duplicate but will only make minor edits. This solution will allow you to use full Office and then save to drive. So let's take a look at that. I already have it installed and I'm just going to use Microsoft Word here. Okay, let me make it bigger. And if I go to open other documents, I can click on Google Drive here. And then these are my recent files, or I can go to Google Drive. Let me see if I can make my screen bigger. A little bit. And I can open files, open Word files from my drive. I can open Word files that are shared with me so that other people create and upload to Google Drive and then share it with me. I can upload other Office files that I may already have on my computer. And I can check out previously selected files that I've been working on recently. So let me just click on this file to open it. And it connects, and you can see I have all my edits that I worked on. And I can go ahead and make another edit. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So here's, whoa, that's really small. Here's edit 3. And then when I'm finished, you're going to have to save here. So if I click on save, it's not like Google Drive where it automatically saves for you. So I can save here, it connects to Google Drive, it saves for me, and then it closes. I can open another file in Google Drive by clicking on Open, and then choosing another file. Okay, so I'm just going to close that one. Also, I can share these files just like I can in Google Drive. I can get a shareable link. If you're familiar with these, I'll just run through them really quickly. I can get a shareable link and then email that out. I can add people to this, so I'll add my assistant. As you can see here, it's not pulling up from my contacts, and that could be one minor flaw with this, but it is a brand new plugin and they're always making updates. I can give her edit rights, comment rights, viewing rights, and click send. Oh, looks like we have an error. Please try again later. Okay. I can save as. So save as will make a copy of this with a new name, just like you would on your local files on your computer. I can rename the document. This will not make a copy. This will just rename the document in Google Drive. And finally, settings. Here I can show, you can barely see it. I'm really sorry about that. I don't think I can make this much bigger. Here you can show just Office and Google Doc files. You can show just Office files only, or you can show all files like your PDFs and your pictures and so on and so forth. Yes, Susanna, this does work with Excel. In fact, I can, oh, and you can sign out over here. So let me close that. I can open a document. Let me see if I can find a shared with me document. That's Excel. I can open an Excel document right in, even though I'm in Microsoft Word, it'll just open up Excel. So Sam, you want me to, can you say more about the note in the slide? This is only an option for Mac users. Yeah. Um, so you can't use this option for, um, um, for it just, it doesn't work in Mac. It's not available for Mac. So the option for Mac users is to use the Chrome extension. This one I'll show you. Right here. This way you can, edit, you can do minor edits right in Google Drive. Does that answer your question, Sam? So let me check out some more of these. Paul says the conversion screws up formatting. It can, but it's getting better when you convert. So I've noticed since the past 3 years since we've been using this that Google is slowly catching on, and it catches some of the formatting now, but not all of it, but some of it. Um, So Susanna is very excited about this. Min Hugh says, can the chart I create in Excel showing all the details on a Google spreadsheet? So what are you asking? Are you asking if you convert a chart from Excel to a Google spreadsheet, will it retain its formatting and its shape and all that? um, I assume maybe. That's what I assume. So if you, I mean, you can try it and see what you get. I'm not an expert on all the formatting that Google does not do. So any other questions? Does this plugin sound like something that you can use? I think it's a perfect solution if you have a shared network drive that contains, terabytes of files, and you can upload all those files into Google Drive and then access those Office files through Microsoft Office. Great, Matt. I'm so glad you installed it. That's awesome. I haven't tested that out. That's a really good question. And you know what? Maybe I'll send a follow-up report testing that with my assistant. What's the link for the Chrome extension? So let me see if I can get that for you. There you go. And you shouldn't have a problem installing those. All you got to do is click add. And the Chrome extensions end up, if you go to the little hamburger all the way at the top right, and you go to settings, and then extensions, this is where they're found. Okay. And right now I have mine turned on. I really want to leave it there, but just disable it. Make sure after you turn on an extension, it's a good idea to either refresh or close Chrome and then go back to Chrome so the application will start working for you. Okay, is there any other questions that I can answer for you? If you think of a question later, feel free to write to Do It Training and I'll answer that. Everyone should have the slide deck. It's in the invitation that we sent, which you also got a few emails for. And I thank you for participating in this workshop.